A very good evening to everyone. Welcome to Global Online. Here we are back with NTA UGC-NET preparation for Paper 1, that is for June 2024 examination. And in today's session, we have questions on recent topic, which is based on hypothesis and sampling of research from the unit Research Aptitude. Now, before we start with the questions, a very important announcement. We are starting our new sessions from 19th of Feb 2024. Okay, and these sessions will be live on app. Now, how to go for these sessions, what exactly to go for, how to reach, that all will be informed to you in the video itself. So stay tuned at the end of the video. And before we start the questions, now let me tell you that these questions which have been brought up, they are brought up with a lot of, understanding of the question papers with recent cycles, some old questions, and the questions are from the similar topic. The only thing is that these topics have been twisted and this new set of question has been formed. So let's see how to go for these questions and how to, attempt these questions. So let's start with question number 1. So now the question 1 talks about the conceptual hypothesis. Now, what is hypothesis? It is nothing but it is called as a tentative statement. So conceptual hypothesis is drawn from the implications of what? So do we draw the hypothesis with the help of prediction, with the help of theory, with the help of spurious relations, or with the help of time order? So you have to answer this question from the viewpoint of what? From the viewpoint of hypothesis, right? Now, as I said, what is conceptual hypothesis? I'll come to it. And drawn from the implications. Now, when we say implications, so implications, it is nothing but here implications indicates conclusion. So a tentative statement is drawn from the conclusion of what? Do we take into consideration theory? Do we take into consideration prediction? Do we take into consideration spurious relation, or do we take into consideration time order? Now when I say spurious, when I talk about, if I'm talking about predictions, if I'm talking about theory, you can understand, okay, what exactly. But maybe this word spurious relation basically is what? What do you understand from the term spurious relation? So it is nothing but, it is a relation between events or variables due to certain coincidence. Okay. So it can be a spurious relationship. It's something which tries, maybe the approach is not coincident, but it is uh, it turns sorry the approach cannot be a casual relationship, but it is a coincident, right? So now whenever we draw this tentative statement and when we draw the conclusion from this tentative statement, it is basically based on what? So let's see, it is based on something called as theory. So when I say what is conceptual hypothesis, it's nothing but a predictive statement, a tentative statement, which connect the variables, two or more variables, based on the theory, prediction of a theory or proposition of a theory. In scientific research, a hypothesis is generated from a theory and it proposes the relationship between the variable that can be tested. So whenever we are drawing a conceptual hypothesis, the conclusion is drawn with the help of what? With the help of theory. So theory stands to be the right answer. Okay, coming to question number 2. In inductive approach, theory is generated out of what? So we have done two approaches. One is inductive approach of research. One is deductive. And we have done a lot of questions also. See, deductive, it means from something general, you come to something which is particular or something which is very specific, right? Deductive, now from something, that is inductive. Deductive we have done. Inductive is something specific, we go from towards something general. So you start from something which is very particular and you come towards a general. So they are asking us, the approach is inductive, the theory is generated out of what? With the help of simple observation or a research or the notes or another theory. So as I said, no, inductive, you start going in. Okay. So it is something, it is called as what? It is called as the bottom up approach. Okay. When we say deductive, okay, it is something in this form. It is top down approach, right? So in inductive approach of research, any theory is generated out of what? Do we observe it? Do we do a research? Do we do field notes, or do we take another theory? So at least you should be very clear that in any of the inductive approach, you do not take notes, you do not take another theory, either with, observation or research. Obviously, this is very important. But yes, it is just not a simple research or observation. It's a pattern which you have to keep. So basically, when I say pattern, it means you do nothing but you do a research. So in inductive approach, theory is generated out of what? Out of a research done. Okay. We have completed this approach. We have done many questions also last week on this approach. So make sure you definitely get such questions in the latest. These questions are of latest cycle. They are, but there are questions related to these concepts even in the old previous year question papers, like 4 5 years old, and as well as in recent year. In fact, in last year also we had a question on this. So make sure that the topics are same, but the way of asking the question, twisting the question is, something which is very important. Coming to the next question, when a sampled individual is observed over a predetermined period of time in structured observation. Now, we did structured and unstructured very well. Something which is very systematic, which is planned, which is organized, it is called as what? Focus sampling, observed sampling, random sampling, or purposive sampling. So, when a sampled individual is observed over a predetermined period of time in structured observation, it is called as what? It is known as what? A focus sampling, observed sampling, random sampling, or purposive sampling. See, the what is question is asking. Observation under a predetermined means planned. Something which is, properly planned, something which is very systematic, and all those factors. So it indicates what? So when such type of observation is done, basically it is called as what? It is called as a focus. So sample is observed over a predetermined time. So something which we have planned, as I said, we have done a systematic observation. So such is called as what? Focus, where you concentrate on something which is very important, right? Okay. Now coming to next is, in ethnographic research, the researcher involves uh, in himself over a period of time. So, what is involved? A philosophical discourse, a political campaign, financial transaction, or social setting. Now, see, ethnographic research. Basically, such type of research is based on what? It is based on something in the form of society. So, you should know very, very clear that political campaign and financial transaction is something which is not possible. Philosophical discourse, it means a communication which takes, but it doesn't takes only with the help of ethnographic research. So such research takes, involves a social setting, a setting with the help of, a community, a society. That is called as ethnographic research, right? Coming to the next statement, we have question as statements. We have two statements. So the double blind procedure is an effective solution to issue of experimenter bias in the research. Statement 2 says that the problem of experimenter bias can also be solved by non-verbal cueing of the participants. So you should know what is, first of all, double blind research. Okay. We are going to do one more such question, which is very, 4 5 years in one of the cycle they have asked. So we'll do it very well. So what is double blind? So we have a researcher, we have a respondent. Both of them are not aware, whom they are, uh, who is the researcher and who is the respondent. So they are not aware, and the research is conducted without their awareness. So such is an effective solution for the experimenter bias. We have a lot of complaints with the respect to biasness. So we can try to bring a solution for that, or we can do it by non-verbal cueing of the participants. So which statement comes true, whether it's statement one, statement two, vice versa, or none of the above. So let's see. So when we talk about the statements, as I explained you what is blind procedure, so it is, the blind procedure we can use in order to sort out the biasness. That is very true, right? But the problem of experimenter bias can be solved by non-verbal cueing. So non-verbal cueing is nothing but it means, with the help of non-verbal, but that communication it's not, something which will give you exact impact, the effectiveness or impact, which is not possible. And hence statement 2 stands to be what? It stands to be false, right? Now, coming to the next question, when in a process of reasoning, observation is followed by theory. So we are doing a reasoning, right? Observation is followed by theory, okay? Hypothesis and interpretation. So next is its hypothesis and interpretation, right? What will be this approach called? We have observation, we have theory, we have hypothesis and interpretation. Such approach will be called as formulative, standardized, inductive, deductive. Okay, we start with an observation. Okay, so what we take basically general. Okay, and we try to come to what? We try to come to specific or particular. So just simple way. See, I just inductive, deductive, standardized, or a formulative. I saw the options, but here observation. So you do not, it starts with the observation where you are very generic, and then you come towards something very particular or specific. And no doubt, such type of things are only and only approach is followed in inductive. Just now we did inductive. Sorry, inductive. Concept where it starts with what, where it definitely starts with some observation, okay, and it comes to what, a specific theory, but that theory is done with the help of hypothesis framing and interpretation. So observation to theory is nothing but called as inductive approach, right? Okay, now, if the research is done to find out behavior and attitude by analyzing existing records and other material, it is known as what? Your research is done by finding out behaviors and attitudes of existing records, existing. So is it called past? Is it called non-observational, non-participant, or archival? So see, past research, okay, but you are doing existing, you're analyzing the existing records, non-observational, non-participant, or archival. Answer is very easy. So such type of behavior and attitudes with respect to analyzing existing records and material is nothing but called as archival research. It means that it is, the research which involves the primary sources such as special collections, the manuscripts, the documents, which require, which has electronically recorded the objects, the sounds, and no doubt it is, by the existing records and other materials, and we do the research with the help of that. And that is nothing but it is called as what? It is called as archival research. Now, coming to the next question. If the dress of a person does not reflect or predict his voting behavior, then what? You do not get anything. The dress the person has wore, with the help of that, you do not get any conclusion. Then what it is called as? Is it called as a positive correlation, a zero correlation, a partial correlation, or fragmented correlation? What exactly it is known or it is called as? Such type of research, we tell it as what? Okay. So when they have given you an example, and in this example, uh, there is something where there is nothing. So, right, like for example, if I say positive correlation, it's in the same direction. Okay, if if one is growing, another will be in the same direction or growing. Okay, if I say, I'll just explain you quickly what correlations are there. Zero correlation, next is zero correlation. There is no relationship. Okay. Now, when I say the next one, if you look at the next option, when I say partial correlation, it means there a partial, some effect or something is there which will be in line, right? And when I say fragmented correlation, so fragmented, it means that now see the term itself, when we talk about, so when we say that it is a fragmented correlation, something, it means that which is talking in minute, or which is not in a straight direction, or something which does not have a entire picture. So if these relations are given and you're told a example, the dress does not tells about the voting, so there is no matching at all. So such correlation will be called as what? It will be called as zero correlation, where there is no identical things at all, right? Now, yes, coming to the next question, which of the following are the advantages of web-based research? So, when we talk about research which is done with the help of web, is it time saving? Is it engaging the participant with convenience? Data collection demands a small sample. The participants are heavily paid. So, basically, it is known as what? Advantages of web-based research. Okay, from the given list, if we look at the advantages, it is yes, it saves time. Yes, it engages the participants. It's collect the data with accuracy. It demands a small sample. No, the participants are heavily paid. No, absolutely no. So if you see E is all man out, so you can just cancel it out, right? Coming to the last question. Given below are the two statements, survey research has advantage of sampling a large number of respondents who are selected for research, whereas sample statement 2, researchers to administer their own surveys do not have many options except to do it themselves. So which statement? So we talk about what research survey has the advantage of sampling the large number of respondents, and researcher to administer their own surveys do not have such options. So what do you mean, or what do you think? Whether which statement is right, which is wrong, and what all things? So let's see. So yes, looking at the statements. So when we talk about the statements, statement 1 is true. Yes, they have the advantage of, large respondents. And statement 2, yes, if it is their own service, they do not have the options left with them, right? Yes, so this is what we have for Global Online. And yes, all the students who want to join our new batch and start studying, do download our Global Online app, register yourself with a registered mobile number, check with course paper 1. Just once you do pay the course, you will get access to all the content. Just make sure that you have to study the videos, do your best, and make sure that you're cracking this June 2024 examination. That's all for the day. Thank you, everyone, and see you tomorrow on the live class for app. Thank you.